As the new year approaches, it is time to evaluate what's truly ruling in your life. Is it God, or have you unknowingly let money take the throne? In today's episode, we're going to uncover the subtle ways that financial idolatry creeps in and how to break free from its grip to step boldly into 2025 with kingdom authority. Now, I know we've addressed financial idolatry before, and we will continue to do so as because it will always be a challenge, not for maybe you, because prayerfully we get above that, right? But it will be a challenge that many will face in their lifetime. So get your notebooks, get your uh, pens, your pencils, your crayons, your Crayola crayon, your markers, whatever your favorite writing utensil is, grab it, grab your favorite beverage, and we're going to get into it right after this intro. Hey there, wealth saving and investing. And I'm 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, saying that finances is not a set forgiveness. Hey there, welcome to the Radical Godly Stewardship Podcast. This is episode number 17, and we've missed a couple of weeks in between holidays and all that jazz. And we are going to miss another couple of weeks, not just because of the holiday, but because we are getting ready to start our Unshakable fast for finances. I'll talk about that a little later on. But greetings to you, sisters, seasons greetings to all of you. Come on in the room. My name is Lexi Johnson, and I am your facilitator for this podcast that we call Radical Godly Stewardship. And today, our topic is dethrone money, crown purpose. Dethrone money, crown purpose. What a fitting topic, I think, as we move into the new year. So let's get started with our first key discussion point, which is the subtle snare of financial idolatry, right? Idolatry doesn't always look like golden calves, right? In the Bible, we hear a lot talk about, they're making graven images. They have altars that they are physically, bowing down to. And when it comes to money, it doesn't look like that all the time, right? Most of the time, it doesn't look like that. It can appear as an obsession with financial security. It can appear as materialism. It can even appear as the fear of lack, right? So, one behavior for fear of lack is um, hoarding, right? So, sometimes people hoard because there is a fear that they are going to be without, right? They know what it's like to be without. And so when they have the opportunity to do better, then they, get a lot and they keep a lot because they don't want to, they're afraid to revisit that place of not having anything, right? So all of these things and more can be ways in which we have financial idolatry, right? Matthew 6:24 says, no one can serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money. So my question for you today, and as you all are coming in the room, let me know who you are, where you're watching from. Once again, I love to, acknowledge those that are watching. And I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, if you feel so led, to share this broadcast out, okay? All of us can use this information, even if we have found that we have mastered, uh, we're now masters of our money and we don't have any kind of financial idolatry. Someone on your timeline might be struggling with it. Okay. All right. So thanks in advance for doing that. So here's the question that I have for you, for all of us today. Has money become your master, dictating your emotions, your decisions, and even your identity? Don't be so quick to answer. And I'm not asking you to put this in the chat, right? Unless you just want to, that's fine. I am just saying, ask yourself this question and don't be very quick to answer. Really think about your behavior as it relates to money. Really think about how you think about money, right? Is it dictating your emotions, right? We have people who, if you don't have a lot of money, then you're down. Like you are emotionally down. When you have, then you are emotionally up, right? Um, Decisions that you make. Now, listen, even for me, a person who comes and who teaches you all about money spiritually and physically, I still even have to check myself about my thoughts on money, right? Because you best believe that I have had some experiences growing up, even some experiences in my adulthood that has affected the way I think about money. And so I have to be very, very conscious, right? I I am one of those people, we're one of those people where any little bit of money I get, I would like want to hold on to it, right? I don't even want to spend $2. I want to hold on to it because I don't know what's coming next, right? And so I've had to work through that. But the enemy will still, plant thoughts, and I don't always want to give him credit. Sometimes we will always just we will those thoughts will come every now and again, Um, they're maybe not as pervasive or whatever as they used to. You don't respond in the way that you used to. So I don't respond in the way that they used to. But I would be lying if I said that these thoughts don't ever cross my mind again. That would be a lie, right? I just know now how to battle them, how to cast them down and out, right? So as you're answering that question, be real honest with yourself, okay? Because if money dictates your emotions, if it dictates your decisions, and we don't like to hear that, right? Because certainly we're like, I can't move left or right if I don't have the money, right? If my friends are inviting me on this nice trip and I don't have the money, I just can't go. And I get that piece. But there is um, a deeper level to that, right? So if it dictates all your decisions, like if God calls you to do something, I don't know, start a ministry, but you feel like I don't have the money to do that, right? Because you're thinking about the end product. Oh, I need to go get a building. I need to do this and I need to do that. So I don't have the money to do any of that stuff. The Lord is saying that stuff is going to unfold, right? As you progress. Right now, I'm just asking you to maybe gather 3 people in your home or gather 5 people on Zoom or something like that, right? If you won't even make those moves because all you can focus on is the bigger picture and the fact that you don't have the money for it, that's an issue, right? And then also your identity. Some people, their very identity is wrapped up in whether or not they have money. This is why some people, when they lose a job, can somewhat sort of lose their minds as well, right? Because now they feel like, they're down. They don't, some may feel, and this I know happens quite a bit to some men, but it can also happen for women too. Now you feel like you don't have purpose, you don't have, all of these things. And so if that's happening, that is also financial idolatry. So we have to be very, very mindful. We have to be very honest with ourselves so that we can heal from that, right? Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is how financial idolatry blocks kingdom blessings. So, trust in money replaces trust in God, period. There are no caveats, there are no buts, there are no except for, there isn't, right? Because we already read in the scripture, Matthew 6:24, that we can't serve two masters. You can't be on one hand, oh, for these particular things, money, but for these particular things, I trust in God. No, if we trust in money, it replaces our trust in the Most High Yah. And if it replaces our trust in the Most High, then it also causes spiritual stagnation. So you might want to ask yourself, if you feel spiritually stagnated, what exactly are you trusting in? Right? It could be money, it could be some other type of resource, it could be a relationship, it could be whatever, right? Here in this podcast we're talking about money. So it could be money, right? True financial freedom begins with dethroning money and enthroning the Most High Yah as Lord over your finances. And it can be tough for us to do. It shouldn't be, but it can be tough for us to do because we live in this society where money's important. Okay, so don't get me wrong, money is important, but we must keep it in its proper place and in its proper perspective. It is not more important and it is not higher than our Father, right? So, our freedom, your freedom, begins with dethroning money and trusting God over your finances. All right. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3 says, "You shall have no other gods before me." And again, when we read that, we tend to think of like maybe Buddha or some statue or, other things that people can believe in. But money is right in there. Okay. Money is right in there. Anything that we put before God, the Almighty Yah, let me be clear on what God I'm talking about. Anything that we put before Him is idolatry. Okay. So here's a thought: worrying about money is just as sinful as worshiping it. I'm going to say that again because we don't want to hear that either, right? Worrying about money is just as sinful as worshiping it. And why is that? Because on both sides, whether you're worshiping money or whether you're worrying about money, it is consuming your every thought. It is consuming the way you think, it is consuming the way you behave, right? So, whether you're on this side worshiping or whether you're on that side worrying, right? Persistent worrying is also sinful because what it says is that we don't trust God. I remember one of my clients, not just one, I've had a few come this way, but one comes to mind. I had a client come to me. When that person started with me, they were extremely worried, to the point that there was physical anxiety, there was lack of sleep, there was all kinds of other things going on because of this worrying about money. And so I was like, we have to work on that first, right? Before we can get into learning any concepts or any tips and tricks and all of that stuff, we have to first work on the mind. And that client today will tell you themselves, and we'll probably have a testimony from that person soon, but that person will tell you themselves how far they have come, that they don't even worry about money anymore. And that's not about me, right? Because all I did was just point the person to the scriptures and challenge them, right? If you say Yah is who he says he is, if you say he is who he says he is, then you got to trust him with this area. So not only did that person overcome worry, but now they are actually better managing their finances. They're not finding themselves in situations that they were in before. They are even finding that they are doing better in their business income, in their personal income, and so many other things, right? So, this is what we mean when we say that um, your worship of money or your worrying about money can block kingdom blessings, and you don't want to do that, right? So, whether you're worshiping money or whether you're worrying money, both of these things deny the Father's ability to provide. That is the bottom line. I know we don't like hearing it. I didn't like hearing it, okay? When I had to do something different, I didn't like hearing it because I didn't want to face the fact that I thought that way or that I really, was, in essence, slapping God in the face, not physically, not anything like that, but that I just wasn't trusting him like I thought I was, right? We want to hear that. But we've got to, in order for us to grow in order for us to grow in him, right? Now, what are some steps to breaking free from financial idolatry? Well, I've mentioned this one before and I will mention it again. You can do what I call like a financial idol detox. What in the world is that about? Listen, before I tell you what that's about, if there is something that is toxic to us that we are trying to get rid of, what do? We detox, right? We have all of these cleanses that we go on, right? It may be a saltwater flush. It might be, we're just eating, like when we fast, we're just eating fruits and vegetables, or maybe nothing at all, and just water. Or we've got all these different kind of detoxes that we will do in various areas of our lives, even when it comes to our relationships, right? Romantic or not. Sometimes we take ourselves through a detox, right? Like, I just need to not be around these kind of people for now because I got to get this out of my system, right? We will detox in all kinds of areas. But when it comes to our finances, we just act like, I don't know, like finance is some resource that is just off um to itself on some type of island in some kind of, I don't know, display case that you don't touch, right? But you have to detox in that area of your life as well. So, how do you do that? Well, one, you write down your habits, write down your beliefs, write down your practices, all of these things that reflect dependence on money over God. Okay. So, for example, if you're overspending, right? And so this is going to cause you to be really, really honest. Give me just a second. I need to plug in. I forgot to plug in my laptop. There we go. So, this is going to require you to be honest, okay? Be honest with yourself because not being honest does not help. That is something that I share with my clients. Like, I don't have any judgment, okay? I can't put you in heaven or hell. I can't, if you know my story regarding money and how I even got to this place of um, teaching in this area, I can't, I have no judgment for anyone regarding this, okay? So if you're overspending, if you're hoarding, if you have a lack of generosity, um, all of these things that are not kingdom, right? You need to write these things down and then you need to commit to replacing these things with kingdom focused actions. How do you do that? Well, the first thing is to find scriptures. Okay. The first thing is to find scriptures that, if you're overspending, then you want to find scriptures that are opposite, that counsel you and opposite of that, right? Because faith cometh by hearing and hearing coming cometh by what? By the word of God. Okay. And so we have to replace, the old, I like to call it the old ticker tape, which is your subconscious. We have to replace what's playing on that tape with new beliefs. Okay. So replace them with kingdom focused beliefs that you'll get from scripture, which will result in replacing them with kingdom focused actions. All right. Now, like I said, the new year is coming. So it's a great time to start to have a kingdom reset. But the truth is, you don't have to wait till January 1 to reset. You can hit that reset button right now. And that's another thing that in our culture here in the US, I don't know specifically how they deal with it in other countries, but as we get to this time of the year, then we'll say, okay, I'll start January 1. No, you can start actually December 26th, which is today, right? You can start in this next second, in this next minute, in this next hour. You don't have to wait until January 1. Okay. So, hitting that reset, what do? Set clear spiritual and financial goals. Okay. And these goals should prioritize obedience over outcomes. See, what happens is we're looking for outcomes, and that's how we get caught up. That is how we get caught up because we get tied to the outcome. And so we can get to a point where we're going to do whatever to get to that outcome. And sometimes that doing whatever is not godly, whether it's lawful or not lawful, right? Because it doesn't have to be unlawful to be ungodly. All right. So you want to set clear spiritual and financial goals that prioritize obedience over outcomes. Maybe I would highly recommend that you join a community for accountability, right? So I have a couple of ways that you can do that. The first way I'm going to share with you is about the Unshakable fast for finances. Yearly, we fast for finances, 14 days, starting January 1st through the 14th. It doesn't cost you anything because why should it cost you to fast, right? To join a fast, rather. Now, you may have to go out and, get some things to help you with that, but it doesn't cost to join the fast, is all I'm saying, right? And so in the description, I have a link where you can join the fast. When you click on that link, it's going to ask you for your name and email. And then you're going to get an email. You will receive an email that will give you details about the fast. Why we chose 14 days. What are we doing during the 14 days, right? Besides fasting, right? We're fasting from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. But what are we doing besides that? Because there is a way to fast. It's not just no food, right? For a certain period of time. It is an opportunity to physically and spiritually cleanse. And so there are activities for that. So anyway, you can join that community for accountability. Okay. Also have my Patreon, which is another community in which you can join for accountability. Now, there's a free level and there are paid levels. Get in where you fit in. Okay. All right. So the new year is an opportunity to realign your heart. Again, you don't have to wait till January 1. We are in the season of new, right? The new year is an opportunity to realign your heart. It's an opportunity to realign your habits. It is an opportunity to realign your household with God's purpose, right? Think about, if you can get it together. Now I'm talking to people, you still have children in the home. I have children out of the home. I have children in the home. And I wish that the level where I'm at spiritually, and I'm not trying to make this sound like I'm on such high level, I'm just saying I have grown. I wish that I was this spiritually grounded, when my older children were very young and coming up. I was not. I just wasn't. Okay. But it is what it is, right? I can still pour into them now, which I do. And then I have my children who are in the home now. So, what is the example that I'm showing them, right? Am I teaching them that, oh, you got to wait to a certain day, a certain month to hit the reset button? Or am I showing them, like, you know what? I messed up today, but I can hit this reset button today too, right? So, um, realignment, okay? Realignment. We talk about it because, it's part of, the new year um, propaganda, but realignment can occur at any time. So realign today, right? And then as you move forward into this new year, into 2025, let 2025 be the year that you stop striving and start stewarding. Because many of us out there are just striving. And that could be a whole podcast in and of itself, right? Striving versus stewarding. I think I will do that at some point. But you don't want to strive, you want to steward. You want to break free from financial bondage for good. So let 2025 be that year. Okay. And just because you have, maybe you're doing well and you've got six figures, upper six figures, you're a millionaire or whatever, it does not mean that you're not in financial bondage, because it's not about the amount of money that you have. It's not at all. It's about how you steward what you have. So I wanted that to be clear. Just because you begin to make more money, see more money, doesn't mean that you are not in financial bondage. It just doesn't. Okay, that more money doesn't equal spiritually free. Not at all. Okay. All right. So of course, I wouldn't be who I am without giving you some practical application. I've already actually given you some along the way, some things to think about, but I want to give you three more. Okay. I want to give you three more in hopes that you would take one of these things and do them today. So, one, daily heart check. Begin each morning asking, who is on the throne of my heart today? Maybe you write that out and post it somewhere, in a mirror or something that you look at early in the morning as you're getting yourself together, or before you're on your way out the door, um, something like that, right? Who is on the throne of my heart today? You can even journal it each day, right? Journal your response and take intentional steps every day to keep the most high Yah first. We all need to be more intentional in doing that, right? So that's number one, a daily heart check. Number two, fast with purpose. Now, I'm going to encourage you once again to join the Unshakable Fast for Finances. We are fasting from January 1st to the 14th. We're going to use this time to pray, to fast, to refocus, to realign our finances with kingdom principles. I'm going to be doing a teaching, just a 30-minute teaching each night that is going to help you in that way. Because, a lot of times we're like, oh, we're going to fast, and you do a group fast, but a lot of people don't know really what they should be doing. And one of the things you should be doing is immersing yourself in the Word of God. And so 30 minutes each night, that's what we're going to do. And it's going to be specific to finances. So again, there's a link in the description. Join the fast. Okay. And I know some of y'all are probably thinking, oh my gosh, that's coming up. It's 14 days. You got all kinds of things going on in your mind. Just put all that out your mind. Okay. Click the link. Join the fast. Okay. Trust God. All right. Number three, get an accountability partner. Share your financial idol detox list with a trusted friend or a coach, someone that you can get godly support and encouragement from. Okay. So, one, daily heart check. Two, fast with purpose. Three, get an accountability partner. Okay. So, I pray that you will do one, if not all of those things. and that you will get on those things immediately. Okay. I'm a person that, for the most part, I'm not going to say I do this 100% of the time, but I'm the kind of person, if I'm serious about an area or a task or something like that, I'm on it. The moment you said, right, do this, I'm on it. Okay. I'm on it. So I pray that that is you as well. Now, as we wrap up, I also want to share with you that if you're struggling to let go of financial worry, or if you're on the other end where you worship it, right? I want you to download the free Stop Begging God for Money guide. Yes, it's called Stop Begging God for Money. Okay. So that you can learn how to position yourself for provision without compromise. That link is also in the description. Okay. I've talked to you about the fast. Listen, guys, I'm giving you this is free stuff. Okay. This is free stuff. I've talked about the guide, I've talked about the fast. I quickly mentioned the Patreon group also for accountability. Please, there's enough. Okay. So please take advantage of something, if not all of it, right? Now, if you're ready to go deeper, registration is now open for my 90-day financial group coaching program called Financial Rebellion. In this group coaching program, which starts towards the end of January, it's going to be after the fast. So the fast is going to be a great thing leading us into this coaching program. But if you join the coaching program, we are going to be breaking free from worldly systems and stepping boldly into financial dominion. So I don't want you to miss your chance. There are only 15 spots, and the spots are filling, and they are filling fast. Okay. So you can learn more at my website. That is also in the description or in the show notes, mm4h.life. Click on financial coaching. Anything you want to know about the Financial Rebellion 90-day coaching program, it is available there. Does it cost? Yes. Okay. It's an investment in you, though. It's not an investment in me. But again, all that information you can get on the website. Now, the good thing is, if you join the fast or if you get the guide, those two free things, that will give you a high level overview of things that we're going to be doing in the 90-day coaching program called Financial Rebellion. Okay. All right. So I want to now just give a closing thought as we wrap up. Money makes a terrible God. Money makes a terrible God, but it does make a great servant. So as you step into the new year, let God take his rightful place on the throne of your heart and watch how everything else, including your finances, falls into divine order. Well, that's all that I have for you all today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to ask you, if you're still here and you haven't shared it yet, what are you waiting on? Please share the broadcast out, okay? And take advantage of the resources that are there in the description or in the show notes. We will, as I mentioned at the top, the podcast will return the third week of January. That Thursday, which is the third week of January, because of the fast, I'm going to be focused solely on that. So this podcast will return in the third week of January, and we're going to be hyped up and ready to go. So I hope that you will be as well. Until then, my sisters, let's keep producing, let's keep multiplying, and let's keep dominating. God bless.